before we set our controls to outer space and go take this wild ride with Q Ranger, we need to set our feet down on terra firma and let's just get through Zyuohger. Let's just get through this review, okay? Because you know what I'm going to do? I am going to treat this review with the way that this show has treated the year that I've given it. I'm going to play fast and loose with this review. I'm not going to give a shit about the things that come out of my mouth or care at all because the show didn't. Well, I take that back. The show pretended it did. It danced around like it gave a shit. But then I have to remember this. And I have to preface this with the following. This right here, this show we watch is a Japanese tokusatsu aimed to sell toys to Japanese children. It is a commercial for a toy that happens to have plot and a lot of times it's good. This wasn't so much. Because let's just start from the top and work our way down. Public Enemy number 1, Yamato Kazakiri. Public Enemy number 1. Here's another one of these prefaces. The show needed a Yamato. The show needed someone who still looks through the world with virgin eyes, who still sees the world in a way that it can all be connected, which is what this show laid its hat on, was that one line. That everything in the world is connected, blah, 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 blah. This would become Yamato's downfall as the show just played fast and loose. The show played fast and loose with everything. You got a problem? Let's solve it quickly so we can move on to the next thing because, you know, it has no emotional impact. It don't matter. That's what the show did. And it's like my problem is that the way that they played around with Yamato's whole family history because it started with, we know Yamato got family, but you know all he do was hang around Mario all the time because that's Uncle Mario, just like his Uncle Crow, but still, is that he hangs around him all the time. He don't talk about his daddy too much. You learn early on that his mom was dead, and then you got Bungala. He rips the memory from his head, and his mom gets to see him, and it was a really touching moment, especially for me, for y'all that know me and know why. It was a touching moment. For the show to then play fast and loose, this is because I think the show writers looked at that, was like, we need to resolve this somehow. How do we resolve this in a way that brings together the whole raison d'etre of the show together? Here's an idea. Let's explain to the audience that the reason why Yamato's daddy didn't make it to the hospital when his mama died was because he was saving Birdo, and it's just sitting up there like, no. Because the thing is that when it started happening, I started to see it, and I'm just sitting up here, no, don't do this. Please, show. No. Please, don't do this. Don't. And then they did it, and I'm just sitting up here like, fuck. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. And I'm just sitting up here like, I gave this show a year of my time, and I'm just sitting up here like, why? But then it's like, the rest of the cast don't get off. It's like, Sella didn't know what dairy she wanted to be. I'm like, Leo was just a hothead. And Tuss thought he was smart. And Amu's a cutie pie. And Masao just cried all the time. And it's just sitting there like, these characters learned, they evolved a little bit. But it isn't like the drastic change I have seen in past Sentais with characters. Because if this was my first show and I didn't know any better, or I had no idea about the show that I watch where I see and learn about growth with characters, it'd be, well, they learned some stuff, but the show didn't treat those characters' moments with the gravitas that they usually get treated with. It's like the last Big John example of a character who saw mad growth for a character who needed it was Kasumi in the Ninja. Because her growth came from her being brought down like 10 fucking pegs. You thought you was the shit, right? Wrong. And I ain't saying it like that, but the show brought her down to a reasonable level of understanding of that for real, Kasumi hung around the whole time in the ninja, just lording over them like, I'm better than you, da 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 da. Then the show brought her down a whole bunch of pegs. Zyuohger never got around to getting around to bringing characters down a peg. Is that Masao had a couple of character moments, but then I sit up here and remember how quickly they run Zyuohger the world out because we need to sell a toy. I'm like, you could have done dirt with the Evil Ranger plotline. You could have done dirt, but the show was like, we kidnap a dude, we infuse him with some Zoo-Man power, something Genesis, blah blah blah. Let him fight a couple episodes. We believe in you, even though I don't know who the fuck you are. Oh wait, you a good guy now. Okay. That's how the show treated stuff. It's like, again, like I said, these characters had moments, but they didn't have any of the gravitas that you think that moments like that would have when you are trying to sit up here and convey to the audience, which I have to, again, remember a kid, that to show that the characters are growing. Because, again, I have to remember, I watched this show for a different reason than the Japanese children who watch this show. Ain't no Japanese kid giving a fuck about character growth. I get that. But I do. Because when I sit up here and I can name wonderful Sentais where character growth is important and it is forefront, because these are the characters you supposed to love and care about and be invested in, and I ain't invested in none of them. Invested in a way that would make sense for me to sit up here and say this was a good Sentai. But then here comes my magical problem with this damn show. The villains. And it's like, the thing is, this show had wonderful villains. I'm like, Genesis the whole time playing chess with these fools while they over there playing Candyland. He sat up here, I'm playing chess by myself, and the whole rest of the show sitting over here playing Candyland in a corner. I'm like, I'm gonna sit up here and say it, even for how the last episode jobbed Genesis out. As a villain, he deserved better opposition. He deserved opposition that was worthy to kick his ass. And he didn't get that. He didn't get that at all. Skip to a Zod, and it's just like, well, I'm this dude made of bricks this whole time. Oh wait, no, I'm not. I'm this invisible guy. Guess what? In one episode, job, you sit up here, whoop the Zyuohger's ass. Job. Vol is like, he did some dirt after he took Bungalay's little memory arm or whatever. Guess what? He sat up here and was probably the only villain that actually got some real shine, because he was able to sit up here and do some dirt with the memory thing to try to sit up here and get revenge, because he was the only one that had like a legitimate through plot, because you destroyed my planet Genesis, I want fucking revenge, but then you get jobbed. You not only get jobbed by your boss, but then you job to the Zyuohger, so you just jobbing everywhere. Jagged, he got jobbed out the first episode. They put him up first. He got jobbed out the first episode. And the thing that makes me angry, and I mean this, was how they did my girl Naria. I'm like, oh my God. How the fuck you get jobbed out in back-to-back episodes? First, they sit up here and treat the poor girl like she nothing. Like she was doing dirt. Like when the show let her, gave her the opportunity, Naria was doing dirt. For her to go out there and just job like that with no rhyme or reason for why you jobbing. The Zyuohger then kicked your ass allegedly, then you came back and then your boss kicked your ass. For then your boss to sit up here, kick his enemy's ass, get jobbed out by planet Earth, and then for Yamato to turn into some super form so then you can continue to job. That was the show. That was the show I spent a year watching. A show that I thought was going to be great, and then the show just said, they just start throwing shit at the wall and said, fuck it to the wind, and here you go. I can't wait for Q Ranger. Because I need a break from this. I do. But oh wait, I don't get a break from this. We can't talk about that because I'm going to wait to talk about how semi-garbage that show being right now. We'll talk about that. But yo, I'm just sitting up here like, damn, man. I'm like, this show could have been, and don't excuse my pun, beast mode level shit. And it's just like, if you don't give a damn, we don't give a fuck. That should be the show's tagline. If you don't give a damn, we don't give a fuck. Because that's just what happened. That was Zyuohger. If you don't give a damn, we don't give a fuck. What? What, you were expecting something else? No. If you don't give a damn, we don't give a fuck. I'm like, I just spent 10 minutes sitting up here talking about how characters had no growth and how every enemy jobbed when they had no business jobbing. It's like, we need to get through this show because we need to get to the show. There might be some beast mode shit. If you don't give a damn, we don't give a fuck. And I'm just like, I have to remember, I don't watch this show for the same reason that the target audience does, but it still doesn't excuse that this show was that bullshit and it had what it took to be some beast mode shit, and now I feel like I've wasted a year of my time. Is this gonna sour me on Q Ranger? Hell the fuck no, it's not. But this is the first time I have walked out of a Sentai and I feel like I've been slapped in the face and my time wasted. And I shouldn't feel like that. I should feel halfway like, well, the show was alright, but it wasn't my cup of tea. The show was alright. But then let me sit up here and just be 100. I wasn't even watching the show every week. I would watch the episodes in like little marathons. It ain't like how when I'm sitting up here stalking Excite Sub for the next essay. It's just like it's on overtime. All right, I'll watch it when I feel like it. That should have been the clue right there for my dumb ass. That should have been the clue right there. I ain't watching this show every week. I don't remember the last time I wasn't watching the Sentai every week. But this is the first Sentai I have watched in a long while where I walked out of the end and I was just sitting up here like, what in the fuck? I'm like, between the we don't give a shit about the plot, between the characters falling flat, between the enemy sitting up here jobbing in ways that they have no business and being treated like garbage, I'm just like, if you don't give a damn, we don't give a fuck. And that's it. I don't apologize for this review coming off this way because I thought I was really going to get an opportunity, to play this up for jokes. Nah, this show wasted my time. And that's all I can really say. The show wasted my time. I can't take the year that I watched the show back. I can't take the time back. All I can do is put hope in Q Ranger and hope that it's better than this slop ass shit. That's all I can hope for. If you looking for a Sentai to watch, if you get to Zyuohger, watch it, but watch it at your own motherfucking peril. That's all I can say. From the one and the only to you. Again, Zyuohger's tagline. If you don't give a damn, we don't give a fuck. I'm just like, I remember, and I'm sitting up here before we get out, I'm going to say this. I remember how when this first came out, like, yo, I can see the potential in this. This is another Ghost. This worse than Ghost. Because at least Ghost had some kind of, something, to look forward to before it jobbed out. It's like the thing is that this didn't fall apart like Ghost did. It's just that once I sat up here and really took a second to really think about the show as a whole, it was the part that hit me when it was like, probably right when I hit record. And it was like, yeah, okay. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. And that's the worst feeling of all. Is when you sit up here and when you take 2 or 3 seconds to think about it, hindsight is 20 fucking 20. There you go. Hindsight is 20 fucking 20. This show could have been way better than what it did, but they threw the Yamato shit under the bus. The rest of the characters didn't have no growth. Masao had a couple of little character moments, and all of the enemies jobbed out in ways that make no fucking sense. That was Zyuohger. That was the show. And I am sitting up here, like, in hindsight, like, what in the fuck did I spend my year doing? I don't ever want to walk out of a Sentai feeling like this ever again. I don't. I don't ever want to walk out of a Sentai feeling like this ever again. I don't. I don't ever want to walk out of Sentai feeling like my time's been wasted. But that's it. I'm going to quit screaming and hollering and having my voice above octave that don't make sense, because this voice is money. It's butter, baby. I can't be wasting it on this. Maybe there's some hope when maybe I come back to the movie and try to put that in perspective. I don't know if that's gonna help. If the Versus Ninja movie is gonna do anything or whatever's gonna happen next. I know it's not over, but as of right now, I feel like my time has been wasted and I'm pissed about it. That's it. I feel like my time has been wasted and I'm pissed. That's it. Like I said, and I'll repeat it again, between the way they treated Yamato's plotline, between the next to no growth for the rest of the characters other than Masao's 1 or 2 character moments when he wasn't crying like a little bitch, and how every villain, every major villain, and I ain't even talk about how Bungale got screwed over. It wasn't nothing to talk about because he was a nothing villain that fed into Kaval shit before he jobbed. So there ain't no reason to sit up here and put him in there. But he was a fun little villain to fuck with, you know what I'm saying, when the Lord God came through. But other than that, okay. Like I said, poor Naria, poor me. Just damn it. Just damn it. Okay? Fuck. Again, let me repeat this one more time before we get out of here. Zyuohger's tagline: if you don't give a damn, we don't give a fuck. That's it. Get me off of this fucking planet. Get me the Q Ranger now. That show looks like it's gonna be some beast mode shit. Get me to Q Ranger now. Now. Not now, but right now. With all of that being said, I am, of course, the one and the only, the triple, the G.O.D. And I'd like to thank you for joining me for another installment of Triple the Guy Speaks On. And with that, see you in outer space.